You know what? Screw Kerbal Space Program. I hate this game. I hate this game because it's jank. It's jank and it's nerdy and it's everything I'm not, and it wants to hurt me. It wants to get to me, and it did get to me. It did get. I was hoping to finish yesterday. I was like, I can finish this challenge after everything I've been through with this challenge. The ups and downs, the frustration, the anger, the constant attack of this game, just going nope, nope, and trying to figure out the ins and outs and the unintuitive stuff that's in there. So a lot of it is intuitive and a lot of it is down to me just not noticing something, but there are also things that just aren't intuitive and you're like, why is this happening? And you don't know. You don't know why it's happening. Everything looks okay, but it's because of a thing that you've got to click a thing within a sub menu, and then now it works. And you're like, oh my god! But I think what happened today, I know I've said this already, but I genuinely just was ready to stop. I'm like, I'm so done. I'm so done. Our objective was to land on Duna, which is Mars, take off, redock with the main ship, and come home. That's not easy. At least for me. That's not easy. For a seasoned player, this is nothing. But for me, this was a big deal of sorting this out. This required a lander that's capable of taking off. I have already landed on Duna and attempted to take off. And I tried, and God knows I tried, but I had to do like guesswork on what would be required to get us out of, which is the fun of the game. That's the fun for people. It's like, okay, I need to build stronger engines. But I landed safely, safe and sound, but didn't quite have the gusto to get back to orbit. I even attempted, because I could get higher than my orbiting main ship. It's like, could I catch it on the way down, which is not going to work. So it's like, all right, we need to build a stronger lander that can take off. Okay, so now I've got a guy stranded on Mars in my lander that can't get off there. So he's just stuck there. And I don't want that. I was like, I need to bring him home. Because I took 2 pilots to do this. So I went back to the drawing board. And I was like, okay, certain things need fixing. We need a stronger engine. We need more fuel. I went through all my engines and was like, okay, I think I want this one. This one's a little beefier. It's going to require more fuel. We need to make sure electricity's sorted. And I was like, right. Do I need another 2 pilots? But I do have... and this will haunt me for the rest of my days. I have remote control. So, in order to rescue someone, given what I have access to on the tech tree right now, I don't have multi-person lander cans or anything like that. But it made sense that I didn't need to go and farm science to unlock it, because I could remote control it down. The guy could get in, I could pick him up, and then bring him back. That sounds pretty logical to me. All right, that's a function of the game. We have this remote control thing. All good. So I built this ship. I built a much stronger lander. I built a more powerful system because it was heavier now because I'd added a bunch more stuff. I built a more powerful system to get it to Duna and back again. Everything was in place. I'm actually really happy with what I built. Genuinely, I'm really happy. It's like, this is cool. Like, we got to orbit really nice around Kerbin. I managed to get to Duna with plenty of fuel left, loads to get home. So I get into orbit around Duna. I get there. Pretty good. I'm getting much better at planning maneuvers earlier on. So you have to do way less fuel. It's more fuel efficient to sort it out there. Sorted. I'm in orbit around Duna. Here's the moment. I extend my communications things so I can remote control it. So I've got communication things on my main ship. I've got communication things on my lander. And then I click the undock button. And at this point, I'm pretty stressed out because I'm going to have to like land this thing, which is much bigger than what I'd landed before. So I need to be careful of that. KSP players know where I'm going with this. Doesn't work. Can't control it. And I'm like, I don't understand. I have the remote control thing on. Communication things are out. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? It then dawns on me why this doesn't work. It doesn't work because remote controlling things has to come from Kerbin. Has to. It's a function of the game. It has to happen at Kerbin. This is the... and I will stand by this till the moment I die. The stupidest decision I can even fathom. So dumb that this is the case. I have a guy who is like 50 meters away from it with full communications array who can't communicate with the ship 50 meters away with a full communications array. Can't do it. This is nonsense. Absolutely. And what made it worse, and I know they're winding me up, I know they love winding me up, is my live audience, because I can see them now because they're not being helpful anyway, are saying, this makes total sense. No, it doesn't. This is how they did the Mars rover. I'm like, that's an unmanned mission. So obviously it had to work that way. It's an unmanned mission. That's what that is. There's nobody there to control it. And if you think for a goddamn millisecond, if something in your brain is telling you that if we do a manned mission to another planet, that they would design it from the ground up so that if they had to separate their vessels in any way to a lander, a whatever, a probe, whatever it is, that the ship with people in it that are there and close to it wouldn't be able to communicate with it, you're insane and education has failed you tremendously. That is so stupid. And then I got the Defense League, which was like, well, the reason they've done this is because it would nullify the idea of setting up like satellites and relays. No, it wouldn't. Because if I wanted to send remote vessels to places, I would need those things. That makes sense. Not if it's a manned mission. That doesn't make sense. And it doesn't nullify it. But either way, there I was, stuck in orbit of Duna, with my ships just floating around, unable to talk to each other. And what makes it worse is the solution to this is so frustrating. Let's break down how I solve this problem. This is why I almost just was like, I'm done. In order to get this to work now, I need to go back to Kerbin, to Earth. I need to build a ship that's going to go and collect me. I think I need 60 signs. That's going to unlock me a satellite dish. We'll call it a relay. A satellite dish. I then need to build another spacecraft and fly a satellite dish to Duna to give them Sky TV, park it in orbit so I can then control the ship that's already there. That's what I need to do. I need to spend billions, if we were to put it in real life terms, billions to get a satellite dish there to control the things that are... I was ripping my hair, what remains of it, out at this prospect. So I was really on the fence about whether I'm done here. I'm just so frustrated. Because now I need to even go and farm science because I hadn't unlocked the relay. For whatever reason, in this tech tree, the idea of having a satellite dish relay system is buried on like tier 5 of the tech tree. Like ladders are at tier 5. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. There's so much dumb stuff in this game. So I was like, I could give up, but then I'll have to hear about it forever. So okay, we need some science. I then made another mistake, because of course I did. My mistake was, all I need is a good chunk of science, and there is another planet called Eve that's more on the inner ring, which I was like, let's just go and do a drive-by of Eve, collect science from orbit, and come back. It should be a relatively quick mission, relatively speaking, just to collect a big bunch of science and come back. I didn't account for the sun. And the gravitational pull there, which is extreme. I went out with like 4,500 Delta V to do this. Loads. That person is now trapped. Because getting away, and I don't know what it is. There is the calculatron, we'll call it. I got to Eve, no problem, really. I did the same as I did Duna. But from that point on, it just turned into a nightmare. I kept getting messages that the calculator for how to get back to Kerbin just couldn't figure out how to do it. And I was like, that seems really weird. And then it was giving me messages like, your orbit is too eccentric. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, an eccentric orbit is like a stretched, like rugby ball compared to football. It's like, it's a pretty circular orbit. Like, it's not crazy. That's odd. And then I had to like sort of eyeball it, really, of where to go. I was like, okay, let's go into like a solar orbit. Should be able to figure out from there, right? So I like shot off to go into a solar orbit, did that. And then the calculatron like popped up and it was like, okay, you can calculate now. And it was like, in 7 years, I'm not joking, in 7 years, you need to do a burn for 0.1 of a second. And that'll do it. I'm like, what is happening here? So the way this works, the way I understand the calculatron works is it gives you it'll give you one answer, which is the most efficient way of doing it. Now, part of this is to encourage you to just do it yourself. I get that. But this stuff gets really complicated with transfer windows and, the exact right orbit, and you can't just keep throwing more fuel at it. What I really would like is, here's the most efficient, which is in 7 years. Here's like the extreme version, the shortest one, which is like you could do it now, but it's going to cost you like, 7,000 delta V or whatever. And then like a couple of options in the middle. Because I know for a fact, like it's given me this one. It's like in 7 years, you do this tiny burn and it works, but probably in 3 days, you do a burn for like 10 delta V and you're there as well. I know that's what's there. And then people are like, oh, you want it to do infinite calculations? No, I don't. I don't understand why everything needs to be taken to absurdity. There is most efficient, shortest, and then a couple in between that it can just say, okay, let's do this. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So I tried that. We waited 7 years, obviously at hyperspeed, and it didn't work because the burn was so minute that it absolutely just missed the window. And from then it became like, the only other time I got this thing to work, it said the next burn would be in 21 years. And I'm looking at it, and I'm just slowly running out of fuel trying to fix this thing. So ultimately I had to abandon him there. And that's where I am. And I didn't get any science. I'm frustrated beyond all belief. Frustrated beyond all belief with this. Like, so annoyed at running into these walls every now and again. But I'm gonna win. I'm going to win. Like, the stubbornness is real. I'm going to win. I'm going to finish this challenge by the next time you hear from me here. And what I'm going to do is I need 60 science. I think I can literally just go to the moon or an asteroid that's nearby, do stuff for like 2 minutes, communicate it back probably, so I don't even need to do anything, get my satellite dish. I'm going to fly that to Duna on the ship that I've already built. I'm going to put it in orbit so we have this thing there. I might even take like 2, because I'm guessing it's going to be like, line of sight's a thing. So you need multiple satellites. So I could have fun with that, building something that detaches like various relays in orbit to keep communication up. I don't know. And then I'm going to land and take off, and then I'm going to burn this game. I'm going to burn it. I'm going to absolutely burn it to the ground to not deal with these things. It really reminds me of like, once it reminds me of so many instances I've bumped into over the years where if you know the walls, like you've experienced it and you've hit that wall and now you know it, you feel this real like sense of superiority of people who don't know it. And you can see the problem coming because you've experienced it or you're aware of it and you're like, I know what's going to happen here. I can feel it and I'm like, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. But that's where we are. I am defeated, deflated. I am a slowly seeping out balloon with this experience. It has been a nightmare. But I think I finish it today. That's my plan. Right?